Live from New Delhi, you're watching GD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government redefined women-led development over the past 11 years as cornerstone of India's progress. Says women empowerment is crucial to India's growth. Donald Trump threatens federal intervention as anti-ICE protests sweep across Los Angeles, deploys 2,000 National Guard troops. Federal agents arrest at least 44 migrants for immigration violations in the first round. And in a super showdown, world number one Yannick Sinner takes on defending champion Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open final. Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government has completed 11 years in office. Up next, we get you how the governance that happened under this government impacted lives and how the economy performed. Through schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao and Mission Shakti, women empowerment has been one of the hallmarks of the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Highlighting the government's efforts to redefine women-led development in the last 11 years, the Prime Minister on Sunday said that various government initiatives are intended to empower the country's women.
Under the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the focus has shifted from women's development to women-led development. Over the last 11 years, schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao and Mission Shakti have been a reflection of this. Women and children comprise nearly 67.7% of India's population, and their empowerment is not just social reform. It's a strategic imperative. Let's take a look at initiatives for women. With an investment of over rupees 1.81 lakh crore, Poshan 2.0 is being rolled out to build a culture of well-being through improved practices, stronger immunity, and holistic wellness. One of the world's largest public health efforts, Universal Immunization Program covers nearly 2.9 crore pregnant women annually, protecting both mothers and their newborns from vaccine-preventable diseases. 73% of nearly 2.75 crore PM Awas Gramin Yojana or rural housing scheme beneficiaries are women. Under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, 10.33 crore LPG connections have been distributed. Over 12 crore toilets have been built under SBM Gramin as part of the Swachh Bharat mission. Over 15.6 crore tap water connections are transforming the lives of the women in rural India, who had to fetch water from long distances. More than 34.11 lakh crore loan amount has been sanctioned under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Notably, 68% of the beneficiaries are women. Mission Shakti is a flagship initiative to ensure the safety, security, and empowerment of women across all stages of life. Women have also made strides in defense. The graduation of the first batch of female cadets from the National Defense Academy is a testament to this. India boasts the highest number of female pilots in the world and leads globally in the proportion of women graduating in STEM or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The landmark Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam marks a constitutional leap for women's political empowerment by reserving 33% of seats in the Lok Sabha or lower house and state assemblies for women. The Modi government has placed women at the center of India's development journey. transforming everyday struggles into opportunities for health, safety, and self reliance. From housing to hygiene, each initiative has uplifted lives and strengthened the foundation of Nari Shakti in rural India. Bureau Report, DD India.
And praise is pouring in from corporate India for the government on completion of its 11 years. The Group Managing Director of TWI Group of Companies, Dr. Uttam Singhal, praised Prime Minister Modi's visionary leadership in shaping India's rise as a global powerhouse. Let's listen in what he had to say.
मोदी जी के 11 साल इस चीज को बयान करते हैं कि गुड गवर्नेंस क्या होती है, कैसे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में, इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भारत का नाम ऊंचा लेके गए हुए हैं। आज मैं इटली में बरीशिया से आपको ये बात बोल रहा हूँ। आज इटली, फ्रांस और 2 दिन बाद स्विट्जरलैंड और स्वीडन, ये भारत को इनवाइट किया जा रहा है फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट्स के लिए, ट्रेड्स के लिए बात करने के लिए। और ये सारा संभव हुआ है गुड गवर्नेंस से। गुड गवर्नेंस, गुड रिफॉर्म्स, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस। एंड 11 साल के अंदर अगर आप देखेंगे वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, जो हम कहते हैं 2 कंधे की जगह 4 कंधे जब काम करेंगे तो जब ही देश आगे बढ़ेगा।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will be visiting France, the European Union and Belgium from June 8th to 14th to strengthen bilateral and multilateral ties. In France, he will co-chair India-France strategic dialogue and meet French officials to deepen cooperation in defense and trade. In Brussels, Dr. Jaishankar will engage with EU leaders on economic partnerships and climate initiatives. In Belgium, discussions will focus on technology and innovation. The visit aims to advance India's strategic interests amid global geopolitical shifts, building on recent high-level engagements. India will hold the presidency of the 12th BRICS Parliamentary Forum in 2026. At a meeting of the 11th BRICS Parliamentary Forum held in Brasilia from the 3rd to the 5th of this month, BRICS member countries unanimously condemned the Pahalgam terror attack and supported a zero-tolerance policy on terror. The Indian parliamentary delegation was led by Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Om Birla. Let's listen in to what the delegation had to say.
आज भारत लगातार आर्थिक परिदृश्य में परिवर्तन कर रहा है, लेकिन हमें ब्रिक्स देशों को मिलकर सामूहिक प्रयास करना होगा, क्योंकि भारत वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, सबको साथ लेकर संस्कृति संस्कार वाला देश है। और ब्रिक्स देश वालों लोगों को भी आपस में वैचारिक रूप से भी और व्यापार और आर्थिक परिदृश्य में भी साथ मिलकर सहयोग की आवश्यकता है।
जो गंभीर चर्चा हुई, जिसमें भारत ने हर विषय पर अपनी साझेदारी की, वह पर्यावरण से जुड़ी थी, महिला सशक्तिकरण से जुड़ी थी, ब्रिक्स देशों के आपसी संसदीय मंडल में किस तरह से साझेदारी हो, किस तरह से और नजदीक के रिश्ते हमारे बने, हम एक दूसरे के बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को अपनाएं, इस पर विस्तृत चर्चा हुई। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पर खुलकर चर्चा हुई और संसदीय प्रणाली में तकनीक के उपयोग पर भी आपसी परामर्श हुआ। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय शांति व सुरक्षा व्यवस्था समेत जो पुरानी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थाएं बनी हुई हैं, यूएन से लेकर सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल और अन्य ऐसी संस्थाएं, उनमें समय के बदलते स्वरूप के अनुसार क्या आवश्यक परिवर्तन हो, इस पर भी चर्चा हुई। यह सम्मेलन भारत की दृष्टि से और भारत जब अगली मेजबानी करेगा उस दृष्टि से बहुत ही सफल, निर्णायक रहा। माननीय ओम बिरला जी के नेतृत्व में
ब्रिक पार्लियामेंट्री फोरम ने जो अटैक हमारा पहलगांव में हुआ उसको कंडेम किया। टेररिज्म में जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी जिसका भारत ने हमेशा जिस पर जोर दिया है, उसको स्वीकार किया। आने वाले समय में आप लोगों में आपस में हम लोग इसमें कैसे इससे लड़ा जाए उसको लेकर एक सहमति बनी। जो इंटरनेशनल लॉ हैं वो उनके अनुसार, जो यूएन चार्टर है उसके हिसाब से, उनके अनुसार इस पे कार्रवाई की जाएगी। और आने वाले वर्षों में टेररिज्म को काउंटर करने के लिए मिलकर ब्रिक्स काम करेगा, इस पर भी एक सहमति बनी। और क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को लेकर भी सहमति बनी है, उसको रोकना है। और साथ ही साथ आतंकवाद को किसी धर्म, किसी जाति और किसी रिलीजन से जोड़कर न देखे जाकर टेररिज्म को आतंकवाद को आतंकवादी की ही तरह देखा जाएगा, इस पर भी सब लोगों की सहमति बनी, जिससे आने वाले वर्षों में पूरी दुनिया को इस आतंकवाद, ब्रिक्स, खासतौर से ब्रिक्स के जो कंट्रीज हैं उनमें जो हमारा आतंकवाद है उसको रोकने के लिए हम मिलकर काम करेंगे और भारत इसमें अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएगा।
India's all-party parliamentary delegation led by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad returned back home this morning after successfully conveying India's resolve to fight terrorism. The delegation visited France, Italy, Denmark, England, Belgium and Germany.
हर जगह संसद के वरिष्ठ लोग, मंत्रीगण, थिंक टैंक, मीडिया और भारतीय कम्युनिटी से बातचीत हुई। मुझे एक बात की प्रसन्नता है कि भारत के प्रति पहलगाम के बर्बर आतंकवाद के खिलाफ बहुत गुस्सा है देशों में और सबों ने कंडेम किया। हम लोग यूरोपियन पार्लियामेंट में भी गए और हर जगह एक स्वर से इसकी आलोचना हुई और भारतीय जो थे वो तो बहुत उत्साहित थे हम लोग से मिलकर करके। यूरोप और भारत के बीच एक नए संबंधों की शुरुआत होने वाली है। भारत का आर्थिक विकास जो है दुनिया की चौथी बड़ी इकोनॉमी हो गई है, इससे वो बहुत इम्प्रेस्ड हैं। भारत की डिजिटल उपलब्धि से बहुत वो प्रभावित हैं। तो जर्मनी के साथ, ईयू के साथ भारत के नए संबंधों की शुरुआत होगी।
And in the last leg of their six-nation visit, the team engaged in Germany, where on Saturday the team interacted with leaders and key representatives of the Indian community in Berlin. The event began with participants observing a 2-minute silence in solemn tribute to the victims and pledging to stand united against the scourge of terrorism. The Indian community in Berlin displayed immense enthusiasm, drawing inspiration from India's growth story and its unwavering stance against terrorism under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. Ravi Shankar Prasad termed the visit to Germany as highly successful, saying that across the 6 countries they visited, they received great respect and India's concerns were given a patient hearing. Earlier, the team engaged with key members of the German Bundestag as well as its prominent think tanks. They underscored India's stance on zero tolerance for terrorism. The members conveyed that India's response to the Pahalgam terrorist attack was precise, measured and non-escalatory. Additionally, they articulated India's unequivocal position that no distinction can be made between terrorists and those who support or shelter them. While the team led by Shashi Tharoor continues to engage in the United States, today the delegation paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi at his statue opposite the embassy in Washington, D.C. Writing on social media X, Tharoor highlighted how many world capitals are adorned with statues or busts of Mahatma Gandhi, the 20th century greatest apostle of peace, non-violence and human freedom. Earlier, Dr. Tharoor spent his final afternoon in Washington, D.C. giving interviews to various newspapers, during which he underscored that part of the objectives of the trip was to get India's story out in the national media of the countries they were visiting. He expressed delight that similar thing has been happening in Colombia and Panama as well. Let's now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Taiwan's Coast Guard conducted joint exercises with the military to enhance coordination in response to escalating threat from China, which claims Taiwan as its territory. Taiwan has frequently raised concerns about China's grey zone tactics, such as undersea cable cutting and sand dredging, which aim to exert pressure without direct conflict. The tanks and other military vehicles arrived in Washington ahead of the military parade on June 14 to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. The day-long festival, along with the National Mall, will feature a parade and fireworks display. The parade will include about 6,600 soldiers, 150 vehicles and 50 aircraft. Life-sized puppet animals roamed Madrid's streets as part of the herds an artistic project tackling climate crisis through a 20,000-kilometer journey from Central Africa to the Arctic Circle. Still to come up on DD India Live, Donald Trump's travel ban on 12 countries goes into effect early Monday. Every June 8th, the world marks World Ocean Day, a global observance that highlights vital role oceans play in supporting life.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. In Los Angeles, riots broke out following the arrest of over 40 individuals by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, in immigration raids, sparking intense protests from locals, leading the Trump administration to send 2,000 National Guard troops to the area.
Tensions continue to escalate in Los Angeles, where protests against raids by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, have been taking place. U.S. President Donald Trump authorized the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to address the lawlessness and restore order. In a statement, the White House described the protests as a form of rebellion that interfered with immigration enforcement, with Trump's executive order emphasizing that any acts of violence against federal officers would face severe consequences. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned that U.S. Marines were on high alert and could be deployed to support National Guard efforts. The unrest in Los Angeles began on 6th June following a series of federal immigration raids by the ICE targeting undocumented immigrants across the city. At least 44 people were detained, sparking violent clashes between the police and protesters, prompting a significant response from the Trump administration. Taking to social media site X, the ICE said, and I quote, "Federal law enforcement officials faced off with violent anti-ICE rioters. Our brave officers were vastly outnumbered. Over 1,000 rioters surrounded and attacked a federal building." A smaller protest later that evening in downtown Los Angeles drew about 60 people waving Mexican flags. Bureau Report, DD India.
U.S. President Donald Trump's order banning citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States goes into effect on Monday. The countries affected by the latest travel ban are Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan and Yemen. The entry of people from 7 other countries, that's Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan and Venezuela, will be partially restricted. The travel ban forms part of Trump's policy to restrict immigration into the United States and is reminiscent of a similar move in his first term when he barred travelers from 7 Muslim-majority nations. The Italians are voting in referendums on easing citizenship rules and strengthening labor protections amid concerns that low turnout may deem the poll invalid. Voting began on Sunday and will continue through Monday. The citizenship question on the ballot paper asks Italians if they are reducing the period of residence required to apply for Italian citizenship by naturalization to 5 years. Supporters say the reform could affect about 2.5 million foreign nationals living in the country and would bring Italy's citizenship law in line with many other European nations, including Germany and France. The measures were proposed by Italy's main union and left-wing opposition parties. June 8th marks the World Oceans Day, where all come together to celebrate the greatest wonder of our planet. But this great wonder is under threat. It's time we pledge to protect it for today and for the future generations.
Each year on June 8, the world comes together to celebrate World Oceans Day. The ocean covers 70% of our planet and produces more than half the oxygen we breathe. It feeds over 1 billion people and supports millions of jobs worldwide. But this great wonder is under threat. Plastic makes up 80% of marine pollution, with 8 to 10 million tons entering the ocean every year. By 2050, plastic could outweigh all the fish in the sea. In just the last decade, we have produced more plastic than in the entire previous century, and nearly all of it still exists as harmful microplastics. We have lost half of coral reefs and 90% of big fish populations. The ocean also absorbs 30% of human carbon emissions, helping slow climate change, but it can't do this alone. The theme for World Oceans Day 2025 is Wonder Sustaining What Sustains Us. It reminds us to protect the ocean that supports all life on Earth. You can help by saving water, reducing plastic waste, choosing sustainable seafood, and joining local cleanups. This year, events in Nice, France, including the parade of boats from Monaco, will highlight our shared responsibility to care for the ocean. The ocean is our world's greatest wonder. It's time we protect it for today and for the future. India's Minister of State for Earth Sciences, Jitendra Singh, is in Nice, France, to lead India's delegation at the United Nations Ocean Conference, where global leaders and experts will discuss sustainable ocean governance and actions to protect ocean health. Bureau Report, DD, India.
The UN Ocean Conference is all set to open its doors in France's Nice on Monday. Co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, 5-day UN OC3 aims to accelerate action on protecting the world's oceans. The conference aims to accelerate action and mobilize all actors to conserve and sustainably use the ocean, focusing on key themes like restoring marine ecosystems, reducing pollution, and promoting ocean-based scientific cooperation. The overarching theme of the conference is accelerating action and mobilizing all actors to conserve and sustainably use the ocean. The conference aims to support further and urgent action to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development, and to identify further ways and means to support the implementation of the SDG 14. India's Chief of Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, visited forward posts in Uttarakhand's Garhwal region on Sunday to review the operational and administrative readiness of forces deployed in forward areas. Later in the day, the Army Chief inaugurated IBEX Tarana 88.4 FM, the first of its kind community radio station based in Jyotirmath in Uttarakhand. The station is envisioned as a vital platform for local expression, knowledge sharing and preservation of cultural heritage. The Army Chief also felicitated distinguished veterans with the Veterans Achievement Award in recognition of their outstanding contributions to nation building and social development. Okay, in sports news, the red clay of Roland Garros will witness a historic showdown as world number 1 Yannick Sinner faces defending champion Carlos Alcaraz in the 2025 French Open men's final on Sunday. The two are set to square off on court Philippe Chartres, where Alcaraz is looking to win his second French Open title in a row. It is the first Grand Slam final between two players born in the 2000s. marking a new era in men's tennis.
The stage is set at the French Open for a blockbuster finale. On Sunday, the world will witness a Grand Slam final between two of the tennis's brightest stars, Carlo Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Paris is set for a generational clash. For the first time in Grand Slam history, two players born in the 2000s will contest in the final, signaling a new era in tennis. Carlo Alcaraz, the defending champion, advanced to the final after Lorenzo Musetti retired due to injury during the semi-final clash. Meanwhile, world number 1 Jannik Sinner showcased dominance, defeating Novak Djokovic in straight sets, marking a significant generational shift in men's tennis. The 23-year-old Italian sensation Jannik Sinner has been in imperious form, not dropping a single set en route to the final. His semi-final victory over Novak Djokovic ended the Serbia's quest for a 25th major title. For Sinner, it's a chance at his first French Open title, and for Alcaraz, an opportunity to defend his crown and solidify his legacy on clay. In the previous encounters, Alcaraz holds a 7-4 advantage over Sinner, including a recent victory at the Rome final. However, Sinner's current form and consistency makes this matchup too close to call. With both the players at the pinnacle of their game, the final isn't just about a trophy, it's about legacy, dominance, and the dawn of a new chapter in men's tennis. Will Alcaraz defend his crown, or will Sinner seize his first Grand Slam title? One thing's for certain, the world will be watching. Sports Desk, DD India.
That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code that you see on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh. From my entire team in Delhi, thank you for watching DD India Live. Goodbye.